What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is October 22nd of 2024. It is a little past 8:15 in the morning right now, probably closer to 8:30 now. I walked down this trail some, I'm scanning this creek here, and we are going to be trying to do some fishing for hopefully some wild brown trout. This is a Class A wild brown trout stream that I have not fished before. It is also stocked with trout at certain times of the year. So I'm not sure if we'll find any stocked fish, but I'm hopeful that we'll be able to find some brown trout today. I just re-spooled my ultra, well, it's not really a true ultralight, but this is the setup I use for my creek fishing. This is a Ugly Stik Elite. This is a 6-foot medium light rod. I have on here Shimano Sedona 2500 HG. I just spooled that up with Leland's S.O.S trout line. This is 2-pound test monofilament. So it's like 0.16 millimeters, so basically a 16th of a millimeter is how thick this line is. So very small stuff, and this is what we're going to use for the trout fishing. On there I have a trout magnet. That color is called Millie. It's a kind of like a clearish blue sparkle, and I'm going to be fishing this creek here, looking for some of those deeper pockets, casting around, and hopefully we can get a brown trout on the board, hopefully more than one, because the last time we tried fishing for wild brown trout we only caught one. This is a creek I never fished before though, so it's going to be a learning curve. So I'm going to spend as much of the day as I can exploring this creek and seeing what comes up. Hopefully the trout will show up. Got to get used to casting with 2-pound line again. Been a while. There we go, that was a little bit better. All right, we're officially in the water now. It's like a sandy clay bottom, so we're stirring up a lot of stuff. I had a follower on that cast. Couldn't make out whether it was a trout or not, but it was small. This spot looks nice and deep here. Hopefully there's a fish in here. All right guys, I just spotted some trout in this hole here, so we're gonna hope to be able to get them to bite. We'll see about that though. All right, fishing has not been good so far, but we got a deep spot here. In theory, that would be the perfect place for a fish to lie. We got current coming over the rocks up at the head of the hole, then deepens out, got a channel in the middle. In theory this should hold a fish, just a matter of getting them to bite. Guys, we got one on, fish on. It's a nice brown. Come here, buddy, don't get off, don't get off. Yes! Look at that. That is the kind of fish we came here for, boys. Holy cow. That's my new personal best wild brown trout. That's exactly the fish we were looking for on the jerkbait. Trout magnet wasn't doing the trick. Switch to the jerkbait. We got results. Let's go. Alright guys, our brown trout is unhooked here, and he's good to swim off. Whew. That's worth getting the sleeves wet for. All right, so basically the trout magnet wasn't doing this trick. I switched up to this little jerkbait here. It's yellow perch color, and it's got little fuzzies there on the end hook. And the reason I switched to that is because the videos I've seen here of people fishing have come on jerkbaits most of the time, these fish. And I switched to the jerkbait. Was working this bank here, this clay bank on the other side where it dips down a little bit, and I was switching up between a jerk pause retrieve and a just slow and steady retrieve, and that fish came on the slow and steady retrieve. Things were looking bleak there for a while. That was the first fish I've caught all day, and exactly the type of fish I was looking for. So hopefully we're able to get one more than that, but Even if we're not able to catch one more than that, that fish makes up for the slow start to the day for sure. That is the biggest wild brown trout I have caught. I'm not sure how long it was, but I'm sure it was in the 16 to 17 range. Let's continue working this bank here and hopefully another one will come up. I just got smacked here a second ago. Hopefully he didn't feel the hooks and comes back for it, but I have a feeling he felt the hook. He smacked it pretty hard. I don't know how he didn't get hooked. Guys, fish on. It's another brown. In the net he goes. This one is much smaller than the last one, but quite pretty with those red spots. So we're going to go ahead and wet our hands, and then we're going to release this guy. Alright guys, we got our trout unhooked. Now we're going to go ahead and let him go. Boom. Another one on the jerkbait. So that second fish we just caught, we casted downstream a little bit and reeled it back up towards us. And that trout came up and smacked it probably mid-water column. So we cast it right about there and just went with a slow, steady retrieve. Another fish on, guys. This is another good one. In the net. Yes! Look at that beauty. I will take that all day long. Holy cow. That happened so fast. Alright. Let's wet our hands and get this guy dealt with. Oh, he's so pretty. Alright. See one hooked in the water here. Alright, I'm going to take a picture of this guy and then we're going to let him go. There he is. Alright, third wild brown of the day. He's going back in the water. There he goes. So cool. Alright, let's keep the camera running. See if I can actually get one of these catches on camera. The bites are just so like sporadic. It's hard to predict anything. We caught two good sized wild browns and one smaller one, so the trip has definitely been made worth it. Here we go, guys. I just found a free jerkbait in the tree. That'll make up for the trout magnet we lost earlier. In good shape too. Alright, we're going to be heading towards the back half of the fishing session now. It is about 11:45 in the morning. Sun is fully on the creek now, so don't know how productive fishing is going to be from here on out. I'm going to stop and have a little bit of a protein bar real quick, and we're going to get back to work seeing if we can find any fish. Don't see any fish in this hole, so I'm not going to bother fishing these spots that are right next to the park here. I'm just going to head upstream a little further, see if there's any good access points up there. All right, it's a little loud over here, but there's a potential for fishing here. Got a lot of flow coming off this waterfall. Looks like there's a dead fish below me. Can't tell if it's wild or stock. Guys, there's a big old trout in here. Switch up to the trout magnet, get a different profile going. Need that trout to come back. That was a big one. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. It is probably around 12:45 right now, somewhere in that ballpark. It's going up to 77 degrees today, I think, in this area of Pennsylvania. So the sun is now fully on the creek, and these fish are definitely going to shut down in this heat. So fishing started off pretty slow, like the first hour and a half. We didn't get a single bite, and then I switched over to that little jerkbait. I believe that was a Rapala X-Rap in like 2 inches, yellow perch color, and it did the trick. We caught 3 fish on it, including my personal best wild brown trout. I have never caught a wild brown trout that big before. I think that first one was the biggest one. The third one was also pretty big, but I still think the first one took the cake. So not a bad day all in all. We didn't get to film the video I wanted to film, and that was catching the fish on the Halloween themed lures that we got included in our trout magnet order from Leland Lures. So we didn't get to do that. Maybe we'll do that another time, but there's not really a good spot I can use these lures because these are a little bit too big for panfish. They're more designed for crappie and bass. So we'll see if we can get in those lures eventually, but our local creeks aren't really great for that. This spot, I was hoping to catch a trout, maybe a little bit bigger than the one I caught, but for my first time being here, we did pretty well. And another thing I would like to add, if you guys are familiar with the weather we've been having up here in the Northeast, particularly in Pennsylvania, we have not gotten a lot of rain at all. So these creeks have a lot less flow to them, a lot less water. So these trout like more flow. So potential reason why we didn't get as many bites today, but just randomly guessing there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors. You guys enjoy your Halloween if you guys celebrate, and yeah, we'll see what we get into next episode.